Imagine a world where every car manufacturer uses a different fuel nozzle. You pull into a gas station and face a forest of unfamiliar pumps. Only one of them fits your vehicle. No adapter. You are stranded. Absurd. That is precisely how the technology world operated for decades. Each device, each company, its own port, its own cable, its own logic. The cable drawer in your home is a compressed map of that history. A needle-thin Nokia phone charger. A micro USB cable for an early Android. A white lightning cable from an iPhone. A round laptop power plug. A few HDMI cables. And several wires you no longer remember the purpose of. Every time you replaced a device, you were not just changing hardware. You were switching the physical language that device used to communicate with the world. Amid this chaos, a small shape began to appear everywhere, a symmetrical oval port. Reversible. Orientation-free. It showed up on phones, laptops, drones, monitors, docks, and even industrial equipment. A single cable could charge, transfer data, output 4K video, and deliver power measured in hundreds of watts. That port is USB-C. But USB-C is not merely a more convenient connector. It is the convergence point of two powerful currents. At the micro level, it is about electronic physics, pin architecture, and power negotiation protocols. At the macro, it is about environmental policy, market standardization, and the tension between corporate profit and public interest. USB-C exists where refined engineering meets collective social decision-making. Why? After decades of fragmentation, did humanity finally agree on a single shape? And is this truly the last connector we will ever need? If you lived through the era of USB-A, you remember the infamous 3 states plug it in wrong. Flip it. Still wrong. A trivial annoyance. Yet enough to become a global meme. The problem was never the user, it was geometry. USB-A is an asymmetrical rectangle with only one valid internal pin configuration. USB-C begins with a different geometric choice, rotational symmetry. The oval port looks the same in either orientation. Achieving this meant accepting greater internal complexity. Instead of a single row of pins, USB-C uses 2 mirrored rows. The controller inside the device must detect the plug orientation and dynamically remap each pin's roll power, ground, high-speed data, or configuration. At the physical level, this means more logic, more transistors, more state detection algorithms. But at the experiential level, the user is freed from a meaningless decision. Which side is correct? The connector no longer demands that humans learn its rules, it adapts itself to human instinct. USB-C thus illustrates a new engineering principle. Micro-level design must serve macro-level psychology. Optimization is no longer only about bandwidth and voltage, but about preserving the user's peace of mind, especially during something as mundane as plugging in a charger in the morning. In early USB generations, computer ports delivered only a few watts, enough for a mouse or keyboard. Any serious device needed its own power brick. Laptops had dedicated chargers. Monitors had separate cables. Cameras relied on proprietary docks. Power infrastructure was a forest of incompatible standards. USB-C, combined with power delivery PD, completely reshaped this landscape. Instead of merely carrying data, USB-C became an energy highway capable of delivering hundreds of watts. Crucially, it does not do so blindly. Upon connection, the device and charger negotiate through configuration pins. The device declares the maximum voltage and current it can safely accept. The charger offers available power profiles. Together, they agree on the optimal configuration. The result is contextual intelligence. Tiny earbuds are never flooded with laptop-level power. A notebook can fast charge when needed, then slow down near full capacity to preserve battery health. The same physical port adapts its behavior entirely based on circumstance. At a societal level, as more devices adopt USB-C, our physical infrastructure changes with it. Desks, cafes, airports, and trains can install high-power USB-C outlets without guessing which brand users carry. One cable. Many devices becomes not a marketing slogan, but a live standard for mobile work. Hard energy, electric current flowing through copper, creates soft power, freedom of movement, lighter luggage, redesigned workspaces, and more flexible lifestyles. No common standard is accepted without conflict. USB-C rose amid very real tensions on one side. Profits from proprietary ecosystems. On the other, demands to reduce electronic waste and improve interoperability. Apple's Lightning connector is a clear example. When introduced, it was superior to micro USB smaller, reversible, durable. Apple built a massive accessory ecosystem around it, controlled through the M5 certification program. The charging port became a revenue stream. Meanwhile, the outside world advanced. USB-C steadily increased power, speed, video capability, and bidirectional charging. When the European Union framed electronic waste as a policy issue, charging ports became a regulatory concern. Each proprietary standard meant a separate accessory ecosystem, and every ecosystem switched left functional cables behind. The mandate requiring portable devices to use USB-C was not a technical tweak. It was a declaration that basic connectivity infrastructure must serve public interest before private profit. USB-C won not just because it is technically superior, but because it fits the role of a public standard powerful enough, flexible enough, open enough for widespread adoption. Behind the moment when you borrow a friend's laptop charger, plug it in, and it simply works, lie years of negotiation, lobbying, and debate between corporations and lawmakers. Convenience does not appear by accident. It is the product of power struggles users rarely see. From the outside, all USB-C cables look identical. Inside, they are entirely different species. Some support only slow USB 2.0 speeds. Others meet Thunderbolt 4 standards. Some are rated for 60 watts. Others for 240. Some contain e-marker chips. Others are fully passive. Formal unification. One port, one shape creates a new illusion. Users assume all USB-C cables are the same. That is where new problems arise. A cheap cable may charge a phone but fail to carry video, or become unsafe under high-power loads. The issue is no longer plugging into the wrong hole, but using the wrong cable. This reveals the cost of surface-level simplicity. We eliminated forests of connector shapes, but inherited deeper complexity. Users must now read specifications, recognize logos, understand standards like USB 2, Ling, SAN, R, PD, and Thunderbolt. Living in the USB-C ecosystem requires more than knowing how to plug in a cable. It requires understanding what you are plugging in. USB-C simplifies the physical world, but it does not eliminate the need for knowledge. It merely shifts it from shape recognition to protocol awareness. USB-C represents a rare attempt to compress the physical world 10 ports into one, an entire drawer of cables into a single wire. It sits at the intersection of physics, user experience, policy, and economics. Calling it the final connector may still be premature. Technology will continue to evolve. Wireless connections will expand. New standards may emerge. What is more certain is this USB-C marks a turning point in how we think about connectivity infrastructure. It shows that changing a seemingly trivial detail, an 8.4-millimeter hole, can require the coordination of engineers, lawmakers, corporations, and billions of users. Every time you plug in a USB-C cable, you are not merely connecting two devices. You are touching the result of a rare convergence where countless technical, economic, and social forces have been compressed into a single, effortless gesture, a gentle push into an oval port. And everything works.